Hello, One Piece Nation here today to bring you a One Piece discussion live stream where we can talk about really anything One Piece. I figure with no chapter today, this would be a good way to fill in for that. So yeah, so I think with no chapter today, we could do this, and that would be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to be doing this every Thursday when Oda is on break. No, I said when Oda is on break. It will not be a thing I do every single Thursday. Just do me the favor of noting that. It's going to be hard just to get out the live reaction and the reviews, both and get 2 videos out on Thursday, especially that I want to get the live reaction out as early as possible, like 6 in the morning. So yeah. But so I figured we could start off by just talking about the last chapter of One Piece, which was 799. The chapter is 800. Now, I have heard a couple of interesting theories about Nami being captured by Kaido in 800. I mean, I understand the number theory, and it's possible, but I'm hoping Oda hasn't been waiting until chapter 800 to do something significant, like had Nami get captured by one of the 4 Yonko. Nami could get captured any chapter. I understand what people are trying to do with the idea. I get that. A great example of what they're really in the end saying and trying to do is that from what I remember from the theory was that Nami was introduced in chapter in chapter 8 in chapter 8 of the manga. I think it said Arlong's defeat was chapter 78, and in chapter or 80 or something. It was like something about chapter 8. It was somehow connecting her first appearance in chapter 8 to Arlong's defeat in chapter 78, I mean. And we're using that as evidence that Kaido would try to capture her, and that Oda would show off how strong Kaido is by making him beat Sanji. But the problem with Sanji, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm probably gonna make a very in-depth video about Sanji's character. But let's just say, Sanji's awesome. Sanji the character. Sanji can be awesome when he wants to be awesome. Hold on, do we have a comment? Massive botch. No, we're not doing that. I don't see how it didn't. I get it's supposed to be a troll, but I don't see how it's funny. So if you could please comment something intelligent, or not even intelligent, it could be something idiotic, but if you can please comment something that actually isn't that bad, I would love that. If you continue to comment things like that, I will block you. Not from the channel, but from the chat, because I don't feel comfortable with you asking me that. That's very disturbing. But moving back to One Piece, the topic of this stream is that Sanji, since the time skip, left all be honest. Besides people like King of Lightning, that's right, taking just shots at King of Lightning right now, who are delusional enough to think what crap Sanji had done since the time skip is more impressive than what Zoro had done, are the only ones that do not see how useless and how much of a plot device Sanji had been since the time skip. I will say it right now. Since the time skip, Sanji had been useless. When Sanji came back after the time skip, he did Hell Memories. Hell Memories is amazing. It's a great technique. But after he beat the guy on Fifth Man Island, what has he done so far? He got his axe handed to him by Virgo on Punk Hazard. And then Doflamingo destroyed him. Actually annihilated him during their fight. I mean, it's just, there's nothing impressive about Sanji since the time skip. Okay. Massive Batch, I'm being serious. I'm actually going back. I have my phone next to me and I get an email for every comment. So I'm going back to look at the chat for every single comment you leave in the comments. This comment is just completely, I honestly, because your grammar and spelling are so bad, I honestly can't tell what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to call me a bitch. I think that's what you're trying to do, but I'm not sure. And you're just commenting random crap that has nothing to do with the stream. So I would really appreciate if you stop. And if you don't, I am going to kick you out of the stream. And ban you from returning to the stream. I can do that. Okay, now your commenting numbers. Remove. Let me see here. I'm gonna put you in a timeout. How about that? Yeah, you can sit there, and if you want to stay in the stream, you can, but you can sit there for 5 minutes, and you're not allowed to comment. Seriously, if you're gonna comment, it can be about other anime too, but don't comment. Don't just comment second, third, fourth. I look at my phone so I can go back to answer the question or talk about what's being requested to talk about in the chat every time you comment something. So I do not appreciate it at all. I'm still commenting. No, for some reason I got that email on my computer late, but whatever. Okay, moving back to One Piece for the second time, boss. You will ask. Did you leave? Did he leave? Oh, I think he left. Good for everybody. Okay, as I was saying, Sanji lost to Doflamingo. He lost to every opponent he had fought since and to all of you who are going to say, but he beat that guy, whatever his name was, on Fifth Man Island. I'm like, Fifth Man Island is not part of the New World. That's a gigantic misconception so many people have. You have no idea how many videos I see. Zoro, New World techniques. Luffy, New World techniques. I'm like, these are techniques they use in Fifth Man Island, a place in between Paradise and the New World, or the first and second halves of the Grand Line. If you're incapable of understanding that, then we're gonna have some problems. Okay, so don't tell me Sanji has been on this almighty god of impressive attacks since he entered the New World. Even if you include Fifth Man Island, he's done one thing that was epic, that actually paid off. Yeah, his little epic entrance with Virgo when he called out a woman's tears and all that crap, that doesn't count because he got his ass kicked. That doesn't count. So, in my personal opinion, even if Kaido was to, beat Sanji and catch their Nami, I'd be like, oh look, Nami got captured. Too bad Luffy or Zoro weren't there, but then she'd be fine. You can actually, no, I take that back. It's Kaido, but you see my point. Like, my reaction would just be, oh, she would have been a lot safer if Luffy or Zoro were there. If you get out the Monster Trio, Sanji been 10 times less impressive than either Zoro or Luffy. Hell, Zoro hasn't gone out yet. All out yet. Luffy gone all out. Sanji went all out in Punk Hazard. Punk Hazard wasn't even on the log. It wasn't even a real island. It's an island that was destroyed from the fight between Aokiji and Akainu. That wasn't even their destination. That was a pit stop, pretty much. And Sanji had to go all out to fight Virgo on that island. I believe that was Sanji 100%. I may be proved wrong, but I'm assuming when you lose a fight, when you realize you're losing the fight, you're gonna start going all out. Common sense dictates that when you realize you're going to lose, you go all out. But Sanji had not been impressive. So honestly, I understand what the theory is saying when was shocked about, I'm like, I would literally be more shocked that Nami got captured by Kaido. Because I was honestly been more impressed. I'm gonna get to Matrix. I've been more impressed by some of Nami's new technique. Because I'm like, at least she's not starting fights with people she shouldn't be able to beat, acting like she can win, and then losing. That is what Sanji had been doing this entire run. The entire series. That's all Sanji had been doing. Not the entire series, I mean, since the time skip. Virgo. He started a fight with Virgo. What happened? What happened when he started that fight with Virgo? Let's think about this for a minute. What happened? He acted like, remember his little speech? I came because I heard a woman tear. He had that really pissed off face. People got all hyped, and what did he do? He had a quick little fight with Virgo, and Virgo broke his freaking leg. Alright? If there was one person who I would be the least surprised to see get defeated, it would be Sanji. I would honestly be more surprised about Nami getting captured by Kaido than I would about Sanji losing. Because I would be shocked that Oda would go with that route again, considering Oda had a part in Strong World, meaning that would be the third time Oda, actually not the fourth time if you include Skypiea, wrote something when Nami needed to be rescued. Also, Strong World, every time it has happened, there had been some kind of breathing. These were characters, Shiki, Enderu. I don't even remember Enderu breathing. When it did something really bad, really stupid. I don't think it was her navigation lookup. I don't know what it was, but Enderu. I don't even know what it. I think it may have just been he wanted to fight Luffy. I don't know. I think he didn't want to fight Luffy. What was Enderu breathing after taking Nami? No, actually, didn't Nami get herself captured that time? Okay, whatever. But the point is that these were people that were, that were really, Enderu, we know what was going on in Enderu's head. Alright, I don't remember why he captured Nami, but I definitely know what was going on with his head when he had captured her. We all know what was going on in Enderu's head. Just rewatch that part of the series and you'll know what I'm talking about. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't see Oda doing that again. But there's also the factor that Kaido, from what we have seen, is a much more brutal character. People have been saying Nami will get captured by Kaido. I'm like, did Kaido really seem like the guy to capture somebody? In my eye, Kaido, just that design itself, Beast, his name, Kaido the Beast. If Kaido gets his hold on one of the Straw Hats, he's just gonna be pissed that they destroyed that Luffy and Frankie and all the Straw Hats destroyed the Smiley Factory on Dressrosa. So he's gonna be like, oh, you're one of the Straw Hat Pirates? And he was a killer. Oda cannot use that anymore as a device, as a plot device. Number one. That's number one. Number two, one of the main that has also kind of been a plot device in the past. Skypiea, let's be honest, Nami getting captured was kind of a plot device to trigger Luffy to have to fight Enderu. Let's all be honest. Like, Luffy at that point had no real personal reason. He had reason to not like Enderu and be pissed off, but he had no reason to put everybody's lives on the line by trying to fight Enderu. The thing is, though, what is Kaido going to do? Catch their Nami? Like, did you really see Kaido, like, putting Nami in a cage and just leaving? No, I see Kaido ramming her to a chest with a horn and being like, ha, ha. Like, God, Straw Hat, your crew, and just being like, Straw Hat has a really weak crew. How did he beat Joker? Like, that's it. He would just kill her. And also, let's be honest, if Nami is captured by Kaido, if that does happen, let's be honest, Oda can't do that. You realize how long she would be out of the story if she was captured by Kaido? How long she wouldn't be able to, like, have a major role besides just sitting there captured by Kaido? You wanna know why that is? Because it will take Luffy, in my opinion, at least another entire arc to make me believe he had even a slim chance of scratching on Yonko, hurting one. Right now, Luffy couldn't beat any of the Yonko. He can't hurt. Well, technically, he can hurt them with Haki, but they're not gonna let it hurt them. They can dodge. Well, actually, Big Mom being able to dodge an attack and negotiable seem really fat. But the point is that, oh my god, the point is when you look at a character such as, and let's think about this for a minute. Look at a character like Chopper. How would you feel if Chopper wasn't in the story for another arc? If the same, I'd be pissed. Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and Brook have been out of the story too long. They need to play major active roles in the next arc. Oda is most likely aware of this. Oda's not an idiot. He knows people think there are Sanji fans, there are Chopper fans. Hell, Chopper has I think Chopper has as much merchandise as Nami boobs. That's all they are. In my opinion, the three things in One Piece that probably have the most merchandise sold are Luffy, because he's the main character, Nami boobs, and Chopper. Let's all be honest here. Seriously, like, I actually have a video coming out on an Anime News Network article that released earlier, but the problem with Sanji being beaten by Kaido is that it just would have no relevance. And look at Nami. She's been out of the story for so long. In my opinion, Nami will play a very major role in the next arc, as will Brook, Chopper, and Sanji. Those three, not as big of a role as Zoro, which is unfortunate, because I think Zoro had enough spotlight in Punk Hazard and Dressrosa. In Punk Hazard, he one-shotted Monet. He literally terrified her to such a degree that she ran away, and she couldn't actually reform her form. That isn't a compliment, if you ask me. And seriously, I think that's a major accomplishment. Actually making a Logian user unable to reform with sheer power. Like, Zoro can intimidate people without Conqueror's Haki. I think that's impressive. Do I think he has Conqueror's Haki? Yes. I'm going to make an in-depth video on that another time. But the point I'm trying to make is Zoro has had spotlight where he won fights throughout all these arcs. Okay? People complain about Zoro not having a real fight in Ryuma all the way back in Thriller Bar over 5 years ago, right? Nami's last fight was Caulifla. I do not consider that Absalon. I don't consider the Absalon a fight that was pathetic. That would honestly that was actually one of the things in One Piece I would kind of just like. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm like the whole plot around that I didn't like. I did not like Sanji's fight with Absalon. I thought it's a good fight, but I thought it's funny, but I thought it was stupid. I was kind of just like, okay, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Like, and the whole idea was stupid. Like, Nami forced to marry a dead zombie. I'm like, you know what to get you. I really don't, nobody, like, I'm like, you're a pirate. You shouldn't care. Like, let's all be honest. He's an undead zombie. I get that probably disgusting, considering he's also an animal. But the point is, I don't like. Why would Nami really? I didn't understand why Nami cares so much. I understand the implication behind it, but it got to the point where it's just like your friends are dying. Here's an idea. Make it just go along with it, and when he lowers the guard, knock him unconscious, kick his ass, because you proved. Because I firmly believe Nami could beat him easily, and kick his ass and leave. Like, it's not that complex. It was another thing when Oda was like, "Crap! I need to make Sanji do something epic." I know that's what Nami and Robin are for. Like, but okay. I know about this theory. I don't agree with it. I think it'd be a stupid move by Oda's part. But I decided we should talk about something else besides Nami and Sanji, which is where are they? Where they are. A lot of people are saying they're on Zoe. I see why you would think that, but in my mind, there's a plot hole there. Now, I assume Law has a way to contact the crew, right? Like, I would assume they're aware that they allied themselves with the Straw Hat, especially considering it was in the newspaper that Trafalgar Law and Straw Hat Luffy formed an alliance. That's in the newspaper. Like, the crew know, the Heart Pirates are aware of it. So if they're on Zoe, where the hell are the Heart Pirates? Why are they on their own? The Heart Pirates should have already found them and should be saving them. There is too much missing information in that chapter for us to make that assumption. That it is Zoe. I see why you would assume because of the Kaido, Jolly Roger, all of that. But I have a theory, alright, that maybe, just maybe they're on one of Kaido's other islands. And maybe there'll be a mini arc where Luffy and the other need to find them. I feel like that is very possible. But, I wanted to quickly talk about that, but I figured I just might as well get this over quickly because I couldn't do a discussion video on this yesterday because I was just really busy. So I figured I could talk about this today during the stream. Alright? If you're okay with that. So what we're gonna talk about is, will Luffy say yes or no to all the people, to, how do I say this, oh my god, how do I say this? I know. Will Luffy say yes, or will he say no to, I'm trying to come up with what we should call them. Like, I guess, you know what, I heard somebody mention the name in one of Zoro Fanboy's streams, and I've seen this going around a lot, like this title for the guy, the Sub Crew. The Sub Crew. That's what we're going to refer to them as, the Sub Crew. So with the Sub Crew, is Luffy going to actually say yes, and will they really become a Sub Crew? That's the real question for us to be asking. I feel like he will. Because unlike with the Foxy Pirates, with it's obviously they're the Foxy Pirates. I mean, who needs the freaking Foxy Pirate to do anything? Like, but this is the thing: the Foxy Pirates were random people Luffy didn't know and had no reason to care about. However, these are people Luffy fought beside. The Foxy Pirates were also their enemies. They were cheaters, but Luffy, Zoro, like Luffy at that time was like Zoro, Nami, Usopp. I'm trying to make sure I list the proper people that were there at the time. Chopper, Robin, Sanji. He was just like those were his friends, and he didn't want to travel with anybody but his friends. Because in Luffy's mind, it's an adventure of it's him and his friend going on an adventure and having fun together. That's the way Luffy sees his journey. But the problem is that Luffy, the Straw Hat, the Straw Hat will be powerful. Don't get me wrong. And this series, Usopp and Nami will be strong. I believe will have mastery of both observation and armament hockey, and complete mastery to the same level as Luffy right now, and will be capable of defeating Vice Admirals easily. Vice Admirals incredibly easily, no danger. I actually believe all the Straw Hats and this series. I only believe Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy will be on or above Admiral level, but I believe the entire crew will be capable of fighting an Admiral. Kind of like I would say around Jozu level. Yeah, I believe Nami and Usopp will be around Jozu level. But kind of the level the Whitebeard commanders are at. Like, they won't be there, but they'll be right below it. So they'll be capable of stopping a casual attack from an admiral. That's a casual attack meant to kill. Not when kind of like when Marco guarded Kizaru's kick, but yeah, but the thing is that right now the Straw Hats. Let's talk about the relevance and strength when it comes to emperors. Look at Shanks' crew for a moment. Just look at the red-haired pirate for 1 minute, and tell me, and you think there was one person on that ship Nami could defeat in combat? Seriously, no. No one. You can't think of anybody, can you? There's nobody. Maybe. Nami couldn't beat that. Nami couldn't beat that monkey. The reason I'm using Nami as an example is because Nami is the second weakest Straw Hat, and because Oda has stated Usopp is meant to be the only guy that is, and this will never change. Oda has stated this is defiant. It will never ever change. That Usopp is meant to be the weakest. He's meant to be the most relatable. He's meant to be the most human when it comes to his physical abilities, his combat abilities, what he's capable of. When it all comes down to it, all Usopp can do is use a slingshot. He's a normal guy that can use a slingshot, and you take away the observation hockey, of course. But when it comes down to it, he's a normal guy that can shoot a slingshot. Everything else that he creates are all things from the One Piece world, and that would only be possible in that world. But in the end, he's just a guy with a slingshot, which isn't that impressive. That's a normal human. Now, when it comes down to it, Nami is a woman with a staff that can create lightning. That is a fact. So when it's all said and done, Nami has a staff that can create lightning. That is not normal, that is not relatable, and it's not human. Nami is, in my opinion, the second weakest Straw Hat. You could now I do think they may have a chance of defeating Chopper in a fight, but not. I do believe Chopper is stronger than Nami. I just believe Chopper, because Nami uses her brain a lot, that would be that Chopper would lose that fight. Just because, let's all be honest, Chopper is incredibly gullible. Like, if just Nami tells him there's cotton candy behind him, he will stop paying attention to her during the fight and turn around. Let's be honest, it's just Chopper. Chopper, naivety would be his downfall in that fight. But in a fight of brute strength, just take away the brain, Nami would get destroyed. I believe there is a pretty big power gap between Usopp. I think Nami and Usopp are close. Maybe Nami is like 2 times stronger, but I believe Chopper is like 4 times stronger than Usopp and Nami. Not that means much in the grand line or when you actually, in the first half they could probably survive, but in the new world that means crap. What I'm getting at is that, besides Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji, there is no one in the Straw Hat that I believe could hold their own against the monkey. I believe that monkey could probably defeat the entire crew. That monkey on Shanks' crew could defeat all the Straw Hats. Easily. I believe that, and I'm not even joking. I firmly believe that monkey is stronger than Luffy. That monkey is dope. That monkey is good enough to sail on the ship of the pirate, the pirate emperor. Shit, I went to pirate king. That monkey is good enough to sail on Shanks' freaking ship, his main ship. But the reason I think he'll say yes is a couple of reasons. One, he wants to protect all this territory. He has all these people he cares about that he wants to put the islands under his protection and protect. But Luffy is very unless it comes to his crew, let's be honest, Luffy is a selfish, irresponsible bastard. Let's be honest. He's not the greatest. Like, unless it comes to it, he's not going to help somebody just to help them. He's only going to help you if you're his friend. That's Luffy's problem. But so what I believe he's going to do is he could use just the sub crew to protect any island he puts under his protection. This way he can sail with his crew in the new world and focus on becoming Pirate King. Because he can't be making detours returning to these islands to protect them. He can't be doing what Shanks did. He can't be like deep in the new world, turn around and come all the way back to the red line to interfere in some kind of conflict. He couldn't do that. Not until he's Pirate King, at least, because then he can come and go as he pleases. He'd be the freest man in the world. But the point I'm making right now, I'm going to check how long have we been live? I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep this stream going. To be completely honest. Yeah, we've been streaming for about 30 minutes. I am actually probably going to do a twist stream later. I am very sorry about the guy in the comments, by the way. He actually just left when I timed him out. He was a troll. A really annoying troll. In fact, let's read some of the comment. Cock, please. 2BBC, you on that place. This guy honestly can't. I don't even know what happened. I honestly don't know what he tried to say. What happened to this stuff. So what I'm trying to say is that how are the Straw Hats going to beat Kaido when their captain and their 2 other strongest fighters probably can't beat the monkey up on Yonko's ship? Because Kaido has subordinates that, when it comes to strength, are close to the strength of that monkey. Now, I'm actually also planning a video. It's actually probably going to be oh, by the way, next Tuesday, I may not do a video because I'm going back to the hospital to do some more stuff. I'm going to try to have a theory out. I'll most likely pull it off. I don't know if I definitely will be able to, but if it's not next, So Theory Tuesday may not happen next week, but I guarantee you. The week after that, which will be the week of, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday through Friday, will follow the normal schedule. I swear on my life, I guarantee it. Wednesday, we'll have a nice discussion video about what I think will happen in the chapter in depth. Tuesday, we'll have not today. Thursday, we'll have the live reaction, the review. And Friday, the big old Friday, we'll have what we all have been waiting for. A general live stream or something like that. It's gonna be fun. It's fun to have a schedule. But I'll try to have a video out next Tuesday. But you know what? I'm not going to tell you what my next theory video is most likely going to be. It's most likely going to be a theory on what happened with Shanks and Kaido. Not a discussion, because it's a theory on what happened. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to discuss. I think it's going to be a theory, or it could be a discussion video. I'm not sure what that would fall under. I'm not done with it. I just decided I was going to do it. So, but my ideas for it, some of them fall under the category of like guesses, assumptions, and theories. But some of the things are things that we already know and just talking about. It's probably going to be a theory / discussion, like a double up. But whatever. I also had a plan to do Julie Bonnie theory, but that's all stuff that will happen later. Right now, let's talk about the most exciting thing. Alright? Which is what will happen at the end of next chapter. I guarantee you, next chapter will have a couple of things. I'm going to go over those things. We'll have Luffy's answer. I believe that will be quick. I believe Luffy will just be like, sure, it's simple-minded Luffy. I think he's gonna say yes, so I think he's just gonna be like, sure, that's fine, they'll get on the ship, they will leave, it will be over by page 10, and I believe it'll be over by page 5, 6, or 7, and I believe the rest of the chapter will be showing us a quick glimpse of what's happening with Kaido, and then we are going to switch over to Big Mom's tea party. Remember, that freaking bomb is still going to the tea party. That's still gonna happen. But you know what, guys? I've gone on for a while. I know this isn't a very long stream, but honestly, I have less time when I'm in school. That's what the Friday streams are for. The only reason I'm even doing this is because I want to have some One Piece content out on Thursday, even if it's just a live stream. Don't worry, live reaction and review will be out next Thursday. Hopefully a theory, definitely a discussion. I made the schedule this week and it just turned out shit happens next week. But I have good news for you. I will probably in a couple of minutes possibly be doing another live stream with a guy I know. The Stay In 123. He was actually in my Sub versus Dub video. We may be doing a live stream. I don't know how we'll work it. We're probably gonna stream on YouTube. We're probably gonna figure it out because we want to stream our some Dragon Ball Xenoverse through Xbox, so we would have to use party chat. The whole thing is really confusing how we would do it, but we'll figure something out. And in fact, I'm actually exporting a video of a live stream I did a couple days ago to YouTube after this video, where I take on the challenge from Quaman's Land of beating that Super Ultimate Series of Battles, or whatever it's called, mission, with only 18, Videl, and Pan. And I pull it off. But you know what? And I think I was only using 2 characters too when I pulled it off. But you know what? I hope you enjoyed. Peace. Well, actually, wait, no, before I go, I think let's try that again. Thank you. I forgot the most important part. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day. One Piece Nation, signing out.